The other boys had returned from the expedition. They had been ambushed by some demons, and thanks to Nagumo they had survived. But not everyone is happy that Nagumo helped them. The princess of the kingdom was very worried about them. She gives them a warm welcome, organizing a banquet for their return. The princess is informed that Nagumo had saved them, and that his appearance had changed a lot, and that he was accompanied by many women. Meanwhile, in a sandstorm, Nagumo and the girls were traveling. The girls compare each other in all aspects. They want to look their best before Nagumo. During the discussion it seems that you wins. As they travel, Tio notices that there are some beasts in the storm. Nagumo becomes curious, and they go to see right away. As they approach this group of worms, they are attacked, starting the fight. Since the protagonist is the most badass, he immediately defeats these creatures. After defeating them they realize that they were attacking a person. They immediately go to his rescue. That person was a priest. Kaori wants to heal the man's wounds, but she realizes that this person had a strange disease. He had excess magic. She without choice uses a powerful magic to relieve the excess of magic of this man. Shortly after this priest wakes up. The boys take him inside the vehicle to be able to have a more fluid conversation. The man explains that his city suffers from a rare disease, which consisted of accumulating magic in his body, and eventually a person would die. He wanted to help his people, but in the middle of the road he couldn't stand the accumulation of magic and thought he would die in the middle of the arena. The accumulation of mana had a cure, but it only needed some special stones that were found inside a volcano. Now that he has been rescued, this man asks that you please help his people and get those stones from the volcano in a very respectful way. Nagumo doesn't want to at first, but in the end he says yes. They waste no time and head to the city of this priest. In another distant part, two demons converse. The leader of the demons had realized that Nagumo was hindering all his plans. He plans to kill him with his bare hands. Without much delay Nagumo and the girls arrived at the city of the priest. The place seems very inhospitable and forgotten. The leader of this city welcomes them, and they hope that they can help them. Yu creates a new water reservoir for the citizens. Nagumo for his part perceives that there is a beast inside the citizens' lake, and that this is the cause of the city's problem. Nagumo without much trouble defeats the beast. Now the source of the problem was destroyed, but the citizens were still sick, and the only cure was for Nagumo to get the crystals from the volcano. Nagumo thinks it might be dangerous to travel to the volcano, so Kaori and Nya stay behind to protect the citizens. They have no problem reaching the volcano. This place seems very hot and uncomfortable. In the distance they can see some very striking crystals, but they were deep in the volcano, so they will have to go into the depths of the place. After navigating through the lava, they find the center of the volcano. Apparently this volcano was a labyrinth. Like a good labyrinth, this place was protected by powerful lava beasts, and they didn't seem weak at all. Nagumo realizes that he will have to defeat all of these lava beasts if they want to get to the center. Nagumo and the girls fight these lava beasts and defeat them with some effort. As they defeat the last lava creature, a surprise attack appears, landing entirely on Nagumo's body. Nagumo survived the attack, but now he is very badly injured. Yu rescues him and tries to revive him, but more attacks come from above. The girls do their best to prevent them from hurting Nagumo. A demon is present. It turns out that this demon had set a trap for the protagonist. This man says that it is his revenge for interfering in his plans, although he expected Nagumo to die. Nagumo stands up as best he can. He doesn't intend to surrender to this demon. This demon stood in his way because of what he considered his enemy. The battle has begun. The fight is very even. The demon has the respect of the protagonist. If he had not set a trap for him, he would probably be at a disadvantage. The demon is tired of this fight, so he decides to activate the volcano and lock them all up and let them die. Nagumo has a strategy. Instead of flying with the dragon, he wants to finish this maze, so he asks Tio to go alone to inform Kaori that they will be alright. The dragon flies with all his might in search of the exit, but the demon will not make it easy for him. After much effort, he manages to get out of it with great difficulty. Meanwhile, at the kingdom's castle, the princess is very worried that the king has designated Nagumo as a heretic. Her father's face seems to be thoughtless. In a forest, one of Nagumo's companions is very angry because Nagumo is still alive, and he had taken his beloved Kaori with him on his travels. When a voice from the forest begins to speak to him, and tells him to obey everything he says, and he will obtain his beloved Kaori and much more. Tio flew with all her might to reach the city, but she was completely defeated, completely exhausted, and badly injured. Arriving in the city, Kaori goes to rescue her. Tio, more comfortable, explains that Nagumo stayed inside the volcano, but asks her to trust Nagumo and not worry about her. Kaori has a hard time accepting, but she has to trust. Meanwhile, Nagumo had managed to enter the center of the labyrinth. They thought that they would find many beasts to defeat, but they only found a message written on a stone. After reading the message, they found a pendant and no one else. Since they had the pendant, they decided to leave the place, since the lava is already reaching them. With a little magic, they managed to prevent the lava from touching them. Nagumo had a strategy to get out of the place. Nagumo had hidden a submarine that would withstand great lava temperatures. They embark quickly. Inside the submarine, Nagumo can't control it, so he decides to take a risk and let the lava flow take them wherever he wants. The girls agree to be with Nagumo and wait for what has to happen. Apparently, the volcano had erupted into the sea, so Nagumo and the girls had survived. These two had gotten laid quickly for surviving a tremendously dangerous feat. The rabbit became jealous. Some men ask who they are and begin to fight. Nagumo's group defeats them without much difficulty. Suddenly, little Miu comes out of the air accompanied by Kaori. The girls are happy to see Nagumo again. They had come to deliver Miu to her mother. By coincidence, they met. After sailing, they arrived at the town Miu belonged to. They have a conversation with the mayor of the place. Nagumo explains that they have come to deliver little Miu to her mother. Little Miu is very anxious to see her mother again. The most anticipated meeting between mother and daughter happens. His mother had a leg injury, and like the good macho that is the protagonist, he takes her home carrying her. This mother is very grateful for saving her daughter. She decides to offer her life to the protagonist. Her previous husband had died 5 years ago, and Nagumo was a gallant man with women. She asks him to be the official father of Miu. Meanwhile, in another part, Shizuku has a conversation with her teacher. Ella wants to talk about Nagumo, but she gets nervous talking about him. The teacher had fallen in love with Nagumo. She explains that the king considered Nagumo a heretic. She could see something suspicious in the face of the king and his subjects, as if they were mind-controlled. Nagumo had told her a secret about the goddess they worshipped, and she wanted to tell that secret to all the students who were transported to this world. They need to know that truth. This story will continue.